Y'all, could you believe it? It is another episode of The Dish with Chase and Ben.
It's like we're beating a dead horse.
This heat killed a horse. What? My name's Ben.
I'm Chaz.
Chaz. It's approximately 97 degrees today.
I know.
And I forced us to podcast back here.
You did. That's true.
That's wild. It's honestly not as hot as I was expecting to be back here.
It's pretty hot back here.
It's pretty hot back here, but it's going to feel so good when we go back up into the house.
In like an hour.
It's going to be a quick episode, guys. In and out. Chase, what'd you do last weekend?
Last weekend, I did a Ninja Warrior challenge. It was called Tough Mudder. It wasn't
high
really
key,
like
though.
that, but it felt like it kind of.
No, absolutely. It's Ninja Warrior plus dirt.
We did cold plunges and got electrocuted and stabbed and beaten and strangled.
One of my clients did it too, and she went to the hospital.
I went
not
through
to
the
tell
whole
her
thing.
business.
I did a 15K. I did 10 miles.
Is that 15K? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was long.
Whoa.
I was sore,
Yeah.
beaten and bruised, but I did the whole thing.
But guess what you did the
Me and
immediate
Evelyn
day afterwards?
Went to the gym.
And
I thought about my chest a lot. So that's what we do, babe.
I think about
That's
my
what
chest
we do.
sometimes.
You got to keep going.
It's a casual day today. I'm wearing spaghetti straps. I haven't worn a proper piece of clothing all day today.
I'm wearing a proper piece. I'm wearing a cropper piece.
Underneath this here table are the shortest little skimpy shorts you've ever seen in your life right now.
And some gladiator sandals.
And gladiator sandals
Like really
with
long
approximately 3 pewter toe rings. What gemstones are in my toe rings again? Could you remind me?
Lapis.
Lapis,
Yeah.
lapis.
They're lapis.
All 3 lapis and pewter.
Yeah.
Lapis and pewter sound like twins in the X-Men. And their power is... Remind me again what
It's
their
really
power
hot
is.
back here, Ben.
It's going to be fine. Let's get through
Okay.
it. What movie are we talking about today, Chase?
We're talking about the 2005 House of Wax.
If the
Not
House of
to be
Wax is in here, it'd
confused.
melting.
Not to be confused with the House of Wax with Vincent Price.
1953.
1953, obviously.
That's crazy. A quick synopsis of the movie House of... No. Tell us more about it.
It's a cool hour and 53 minutes, you know.
I'm dying.
Classic. It's kind of long for that time period.
Honestly, it's a long horror
Horror
movie.
movies are usually a cool hour 30.
Yeah.
But this one's a little longer, a lot more development. It's not
Needed to
currently
be.
streaming on anything. You're not necessarily missing out, but you're also but you could watch it if you wanted to.
I was like, I don't know if this is like a need to watch. Why did we put this on the
It's a nostalgic one.
I
It's
think
like
we just were talking
It's a
and we
good
needed
early
another
2000s
horror.
one. It's campy and funny.
It's so campy, but it's terrifying
It's
at
like
some
that
parts.
classic, like, just because it's iconic doesn't mean it's a good movie. It's like that kind of thing.
But just
But
because
it's worth
a good
it.
movie doesn't mean it's iconic.
It's worth that hour and 53 minutes.
43. 53. Shut up.
Just get your facts straight, seriously,
It's
because you're
boiling.
You're not, like, you know.
I want somebody to count how many times we say it's hot and then tell us. in the
So
comments.
hot in her, so hot and...
Oh, I used to love that song because it was in the movie Agent Cody Banks.
Ooh, yeah.
A grown woman goes into a children's locker room and assaults a child in that movie.
That's not appropriate.
He's in a towel and she like says something to him and like mentions the towel and he's like, do you want to take it off? Like being like a sassy child. And then she yanks somebody else's towel off and then towel whips him in the toe and then hits a locker and it opens and hits the kid in the face. But then the kid who gets the towel ripped off him, I always was like really mad when I was a kid because you can see like nude briefs that he's wearing.
Yeah.
Obviously to not have a child naked in a movie.
Of course.
And I was like, that is so blatant.
It's
When I was a
okay.
kid, I was like, why isn't he naked? And then as an adult, I'm like, thank God he's not naked.
Yeah.
A synopsis of the movie. Nana's losing it too. Nana's like, it's so hot back there. I need to rescue you.
I know.
Quick synopsis of the House of Wax of 2005. A group of teens are unwittingly stranded near a strange wax museum and soon must fight to survive and keep from being the next exhibit. Exhibit's in this movie, and he pimps their ride.
Pimps it.
Pimps it.
Pimps Your Ride. I love that movie or that show. Pimp Your Ride.
I like that show a lot too, but then like all that stuff came out about it where like the insurance just went up so crazy
Yeah,
on all
dude.
those cars, then they couldn't like
They sell it.
Oh, they have to
make a ton of money off of it.
I don't know.
We
if they
heard
make
you
a
like
ton.
Batman, so we killed your parents. He's just like gets.
We heard you like the movie Jaws, so we put a shark in your car.
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
It's like, my gosh.
It's like, oh my god, Exhibit, chill out.
It's like, did you ever watch those like HGTV shows when you were a kid where they're like, oh, we're redoing your whole house for free. Little Timmy, you like trains? Now you sleep in a coal.
Your whole bedroom is going to be trains till you're 18.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
That was me. When I was a kid, my parents redid my room to be like night themed, like KNIGHT.
Right, yeah.
So all of my furniture was sprayed with this spray paint that made it feel like rock. And then it was really cool. I really liked it.
My mom did cowboy themed.
I have seen your cowboy theme bedroom, and it's so cool.
It was really nice. Yeah.
That's wild. Was there ever a point where you're like, "Oh, I hate my stupid cowboy room"?
Nah, I mean, I grew out of it gracefully.
Yeah.
And then, no, probably not.
Now it's like cool as hell.
It's fine.
You should redo that bedroom as a cowboy room.
I don't think so.
Okay, fine.
It's cooler now. I like my bedroom now.
It's chill.
It's got like a lot of art and fun toys.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's very cool.
We should do that. We should have a collection.
It's got a wall harness for me,
Wall harness.
so I can hang from the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should
that.
do a collection walkthrough. Like we walk through your bedroom and see your collection that you
Collection.
have up there, and then we walk through my office.
I just don't want strangers like seeing my house, because then like, what if they break in? And, like,
They're not
going
gonna
to
see the outside of
the
it.
place like the back of their hand.
They're not going to see the outside of it.
They might.
They can already see this. They can see
I'm
your whole
just kidding.
backyard.
I know people comment on my plants.
They're very nice plants.
Thank you.
Especially her.
I don't like that one. We have one of those at the shop.
Oh.
Only it's like half the size of that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Allie. I don't want it. I'm gonna get rid of it soon. It's a poisonous plant to animals.
Yeah, that's tough. Allie has 2 cats.
They don't eat plants though. So
That's nice. Frankie chews on anything she can get her little teeth around.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hit us with some fun facts about the House of Wax?
I'm having some heat stroke right now.
Me too.
First fun fact, kind of already mentioned a little bit about it, but there are 2 Houses of Wax movies. They're
Houses
not.
of
They're no relation. You know, there's no relation between the 2. They're both good. The first one is like a lot better, obviously, because Vincent Price is
Vincent
in it.
is in it.
But it's an iconic movie. It's really cool. It's fun. It's exciting for sure. So that one I would highly recommend.
I want to see it.
I don't know if that one is streaming on anything, but if it is, I would definitely say to watch.
Let me look it up
the
for you really quick.
1953 House of Wax. It holds up. But they're not correlated. They just happen to have the same name. You know, they're so far apart time-wise from each other. I think you can get away with that. That's not that big of a deal.
Not streaming on anything.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Wow.
I feel like it would be streaming on like AMC Classics or something.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of practical effects in this movie.
Very much so.
The director insisted on having more than visual effects. You can tell it's cool.
The practical effects are incredible.
Yeah, they're sweet.
Like all of the deaths are crazy.
All the deaths are sweet. Like when he's like wax and his face hurt. Like it's cool. It's like, especially for 2005, it's plenty enough. Like it's
Shocking.
totally good.
The first time I saw this movie, I was terrified of it.
Yeah. So like I said, that always makes it more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Spooky, scary.
It feels more realistic.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, this is pretty insane. Like, this movie concept is like, this would never happen. This is literally impossible.
Sure.
But the fact that they did all practical effects, it's like, oh shit. Maybe that's how it works.
It's legit. Yeah.
Creepy crawly.
The movie tanked in movie theaters. It only made $12 million. It was like a $40 million budget.
That is so tough.
It,
$12 million
hemorrhaged
first.
like
$30,000
or $30 million. It's not a big deal. But then it became super like popular, and then it made up its money in rentals and buying the movie and all that jazz. This was during Blockbuster era.
I was gonna say, I feel like
So-
that helped out a lot more with, like back in the day with like getting its money back.
Sure,
Like
I
just
agree.
the fact that you could like rent it and a portion of that goes back to the movie, which is crazy to be like a movie rental place and like having to like, okay, well we made $50,000 in rentals, but actually we only made $30,000 in rentals because we had to give $20,000 back to all of the different places that made all of those movies.
Right.
I don't understand how that works.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it.
My
Also,
favorite
too,
fun fact.
Perry Hilton is in this movie.
Perry.
Paris. in her heyday of 2005,
Perez.
for sure. That's hot. That's what she would say all the time. And she was the first person to sign on, and then the cast was built around her, which is kind of funny. But she was a heavy hitter for about a year and a half. Back
we want
then,
Paris
so.
Hilton, or we're out. And then they got her, and they're like, "All right, now let's make a movie."
That terrible show she was on with Nicole Richie.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
It's not The Real World.
I have no
like
idea.
The Simple Life.
Simple Life, I think it was.
The only thing I remember is
we're
like
gonna
they
help
would,
you go farming.
Yeah, they were like at a farm and they're both wearing like
There's
Louis
like
Vuitton heels.
Yeah, there's like a 45-year-old
suede
man
heels.
like with a beard that's like been doing it his whole life, and they're like,
He's
"Yeah,
like-
we'll help. Like, we'll help you."
We're having a blast.
Stupid ass.
Hey, be nice to Paris. Have you heard her recently? She's like a very like down to earth mom now.
Sure.
She is. She's really nice.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I just spoke with her last week.
When did you do
I said,
that?
Paris.
Did you do it via text or email?
FaceTime.
FaceTime, Skype, both?
Yes. I had a Dell Intel computer and my MacBook sitting right next to each other, and I Skyped and FaceTimed at the same time. Quit beating up your dog, dude.
Stop.
What is he doing?
He's messing with his leg, and I don't want to because he had a little hot spot on it earlier.
I watched a video on TikTok today that was like, these rashes on your dog's skin are called a hot spot. This is how you can get rid of them. And it's like, take an aspirin and like break it up in a glass and then pour hot black tea over it and let it steep for 20 minutes and then apply it to the affected area 4 to 7 times a day for 5 to 7 days and it'll go away. And I'm like, Carlos's hot spots go away in 3 days and you don't touch them.
You just shave them.
Shave it down, goes away instantly. It's like, ugh, why does everyone have to put
Shaving
aspirin on things?
Because people get overcomplicated.
I swear. Just let your body do what it needs
He's
to
fine.
do.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Okay. So part one of this movie, I'd
Part
say.
Unot.
Untont.
Unterhosen.
Part underwear. So the movie starts off with a flashback to 1974, and it shows this like family. They're getting ready for the day. It's a younger family. The mom is like really randomly just making wax masks at the kitchen table with her son in a high chair. And it's like, oh,
That's what she likes doing.
yeah, it's like we're just like a happy family. Everything's going great. And then out of nowhere, this wild ass kid is being dragged in by his dad, who is abusive. And he's like dragging this kid in. They shove the kid into the chair. He's got a high chair too, and they're like strapping him in, like taping him down. He's like, bah! And he's like
going
freaking out.
crazy.
He's losing it. He's having a hard time. And it's just like you're kind of left with like, oh, look at this dysfunctional family. And then boom, it's present day. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe that'll come back to
A little foreshadowing.
haunt us. So present day, 6 youngsters head to a football game. There's a boy. No, there's a girl and his boyfriend. Wait. There's 6 youngsters. The main character, what's her name? Carly.
Curly.
Her brother's there.
Weird.
Her boyfriend, a friend, and then another couple. So there's just like a lot of people, a lot of different people, a lot of different walks of
actor
life.
in Supernatural with the long hair that looks like
Jared
that all the
Padalecki.
time. You can't close
One
him
more
up.
time?
He looks like that all the time.
He's got like huge lip fillers.
I don't
and
like
just-
him at all.
Jared Padalecki?
He just Padalecki. Come on, dude.
Padalecki.
Jared Pegleggy. Yeah.
Jared the peg leg.
Yeah. Jared Pegleggy.
Gerard! Oh, shouts out to Jared.
Gerard.
Jared Padalecki's in this movie. I keep saying Padalecki. Whatever, I'm over it.
Pegleggy.
It's losing its reasoning in my brain. So they're heading to this football game, and it's like super far away, and they're just like driving. They end up not even getting to the football game, and they don't even have tickets to the football game. So this was just foolish at this point.
They're like, we'll find it on some scalpers.
Yeah, we'll get scalpers. It's totally fine. Paris
Yeah.
Hilton talking about scalpers like she's ever had to work for anything in her life.
Yeah, like she's
Calm
had
down.
to do that.
So they're like, well, let's just like camp on the side of the road. So they drive off the road like a good ways away, fully into somebody's property. Like we talked about that when we were watching it. It's like, okay, you're like in somebody's field.
I think there is actually literally a no trespassing sign.
Yeah, they just drive right through it in their Escalade pickup truck. Yeah, so it's an Escalade pickup truck,
It's
and then
blue.
like it is blue. Yeah,
it's,
it is
it's like
blue.
baby blue. It's like gross blue.
Custom
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
And then what was the other car? It's like a classic
It's
car.
like a Chevelle or a GTO. It's a GTO.
GTO.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Pontiac GTO.
It has 4 wheels to it,
It's like a fast muscle car.
plus a steering wheel.
Pull us the steering wheel, sir. Yeah.
So they like pull off, which is not like, that's not the car I want to go camping in, but whatever. So they're camping, they're hanging out, they're like doing fun teenage things. They're like filming each other, making out, doing all this fun stuff. There's one wet blanket who's the twin brother of the main character, and he just sucks.
Yeah, he's in love with his sister.
Fully. Yeah. There's definitely some canoodling there.
Just with him. She's not weird. It's just him.
It's just him,
yeah,
for sure. So they're like hanging out, and then this random pickup truck comes and like shines his brights on the kids in this person's campsite. Fully,
it's a campsite.
Their property.
Yeah, it's their campsite.
So like they're all trying to be tough. They're like, turn the lights off, like relax. And then the wet blanket just takes a beer bottle and hucks it at the truck and breaks out one of the headlights. And the guy just drives off. It's like great.
Calmly though, he like just like drives.
He's like, all right,
away.
I'm out.
Like, all right, cool.
Yeah, he wasn't threatened at all. He's just like, all right, I'm
that
gonna
is
head
threatening
out
though that he would do it like that. I would get out.
Oh yeah. Ooh, terrifying. At that point, I would just be like, we got to get out of here. This is terrifying.
Yes.
So like that's just really weird. They all decide to like go to bed, and they're all kind of antsy and on the rocks and just like feeling really weird. The next morning they all wake up and the GTO's fan belt has been cut. It didn't break,
severed.
It didn't wear down, it was cut. So they're like, oh no. While they find that out, Carly and Paris Hilton go out to find a rest area, meaning they just lean against a tree and do what the Lord made them do. And they're like walking back, the la 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 la, and then I can't really remember how it happens, but Carly falls into this pit of roadkill. It's just a pit.
She has to go to the bathroom.
So she's like trying to find a more secluded spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she falls.
So she's going, and she finds this pit of roadkill that she falls into. It's
she's
disgusting.
like, this stinks, and she goes over to it.
Oh, yeah. She's like, what smells so bad? And then just like goes over there and falls. And she kind of falls into it the worst way because it's like a big like incline.
It's a trench, yeah.
It's a trench. And then she's just like stuck in it, like fully laying upside down and just losing
her
it.
hands are like in rotting corpses
of
it's
so
animals,
bad.
carcasses. Yeah.
So like she's freaking out. She ends up seeing like a hand. And she's
a
like,
human
oh
hand.
A human hand.
Yeah.
Plus a bunch of aminals. So she's freaking out. Everyone else comes. They're like, what the hell is happening? And they all kind of like try to get her out of there. And they're trying to pull her out and stuff. And then this random dude just drives up. And he's like, hey, what's going on? Why are you in my pit? And they're just like, what the hell is happening? Like, there's a human hand. We're going to call the police. And he goes in there and it's just a mannequin.
He's like, I fell into the pit.
That is the worst. Would you rather fall into that pit or the pit in Parks and Rec?
Andy's pit, for sure.
Andy's pit. Yeah. I want to fall into Andy's pit.
Andy's pit.
So the guy's like, oh no, it's fine. It's just a mannequin. Do you guys need a ride somewhere? And he's just being like really helpful, but really creepy at the same time because he's dirty and actively dumping
he's a hill person.
More carcasses into the pit.
Yeah, he's a hill person.
Oh, it's so gross. So they're like, yeah, I'll just like drive you guys to this close city. It's called Ambrose. So we'll drive you. So they're like in the car and they're like chatting with him and he's just getting more and more creepy. So they're like, actually, like, let us off here. We're super good. Like, we want to get out. So they get out. They end up walking the rest of the way to Ambrose. It's like a really podunk little town. But the only thing that's really cool about this town is there is a wax museum there. A house of wax museum.
It's true.
It's very funny.
Delicious
water. Chadwick, I have a question for you about this portion of the movie.
Yes.
So let's say it's me, you, and Nev. We're out camping. We're having a blast.
It's just us three. Wow.
Just us three.
Okay.
In your Cadillac.
Just us three.
Just us three. In your Cadillac Escalade pickup truck.
Sure, yeah.
We're sleeping. I'm in my own tent. Nev's in her own tent. You're in your own tent. The dogs are each both there, and they also both each have their own tent. So we're all sleeping. We wake up, and all 4 of your tires have been slashed, and the moonroof has been removed. Are you still trying to go to the football game, or are you saying, all right, I obviously feel like someone does not want us here. Let's not do this.
I would say, one, I don't care about football enough where I would just be like, I'm going to go get my car fixed.
We're going to the Creed concert this July.
I know I do. I'm excited.
And we're driving there, and we're camping out, and all this stuff happens. Are you going to still go to the
yeah, I would
Creed
go
show?
still.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So if there is something that you were
if I could do it, yeah.
Okay.
But I would also say, on the other hand, I would also go with that guy, I think, to get my car fixed. I'd want my car fixed, like, right away. Especially if it, like, the fan belt thing, like, it looks like he could just change that really fast.
Yeah.
So, so to me, it's like, I'm not going to
yeah.
leave my car here, like, forever. Like, I'm just going to, like, get the fan belt, you know?
Well, that's the thing. So I would not accept a ride from that guy. I will inconvenience myself to keep myself like more comfortable.
Sure.
As dumb as that sounds, I'm not going with this stranger. I'm not accepting a ride. I'm calling AAA. I'm calling my insurance. I'm doing something else. And I'm just like, this is just what has to happen. Someone else has to come and do this.
I just don't think, honestly, even through that whole movie, out of anyone, that guy, I think they kind of overreacted.
About the guy?
Yeah, like I think they kind of did. Because he's like, the thing is like, the way that I would see it in the moment is like, you're not from that area. You're not like that kind of person. And he is
Not
a
that guy,
local.
pal.
So like, he is an uneducated, like,
Swine.
Ozark person. That's like really what it's like. You know what I'm
Mountain
saying?
man.
Like, yeah, so like his job is to pick up carcasses and like take them somewhere. He's obviously like a more simple person in that way. Like, so to me, I find that to be a little more harmless.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and even him like with the knife in the car, because he like shows him the knife, it is weird, but it's not like threatening.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like,
no, he like jams it into his.
he jams it into his own truck. Like,
I'm
like,
leaving.
I don't
That's
know.
a display of aggression. I'm out.
I don't know. I feel like again, like he's like a simpleton. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like
Damn.
he is. So it's like to me, it's like I think he wouldn't. I feel like I would think he just doesn't really understand that would make you uncomfortable. Like honestly, you know what I mean? Like because
I
again,
feel
like
you on that.
he's also like 5'3",
He's
and
a
there's
wee
two
little
of them
fella.
and one of him. So like to me,
Yeah.
it's like he's not that stupid. I feel like that would be kind of weird. Like, so I think I would take the ride. I don't know if I would have gotten out of. I think I would have just let him take me to the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, like I might be wrong, but in my head, I'm like, he's not that threatening.
I think you're a little more confident than I am too.
Maybe.
I'm just like, I'm good on that. Like, I'm not getting myself into a possible. I see you as, I'm not worried about getting into a situation because I can get myself out of it. And then I see myself as, I don't want to get into the situation to begin with. I don't want to have to get out of a situation.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's fair.
And I think it's just, I'm a little more reserved than you. I think you're a lot more pragmatic and a lot more logical and level-headed. Where you're just
Maybe.
like, this is an issue we're having. We need to fix it. Let's go with this guy and be done with it.
Yeah, I would say I would have that mentality of like, let's get it done. And if something is a big deal, then we'll deal with it when it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if not, then we're just going to get there faster, get the part, and get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I would be.
I feel you on that.
Part deux,
Part
de toi.
That's where we are around.
Shh, don't tell anybody because
I'm kidding.
they'll come rob us.
We're in Miami.
Jared's going to come rob me.
Don't say that.
He's gonna, I swear.
Jared would never.
He threatened me via text.
Yeah? Do you want to read it on? Do we want to?
No,
do we want to?
he's a nice boy.
He is a nice boy.
All right.
Boy.
So
Like that.
he is a boy.
He's a man.
He a man boy. He a man child, man savage boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about part two.
All right. Well, they made this guy. He's a mechanic. His name is Bo.
Bo.
Bio.
I like that name. Have you ever
That's
met
okay.
somebody named Bo?
I think maybe.
I've done that once.
He is a mechanic, so he takes them. Well, at first he takes them to the mechanic shop, but he needs like a specific. It's an old car, so he needs like a specific
14
size
inch
belt.
or whatever.
It's a 17, 14 incher.
I think it's 17 actually.
I don't know. And he doesn't have it in store, he claims, so he's like, I have it up at the house because it's like a little tiny baby town, so his house is like not far away.
Like a block away.
Yeah, and he's like, the kid is like, he is skeptical, like pretty much right away of Bo because Bo's like hitting on his girlfriend, and he's like, he's being like a baby about it. He's so like not confident. It's like, oh, no,
He
that's
is,
annoying.
but
Yeah.
Bo is hitting on his girlfriend, and then like when he talks to Jared Padalecki, he's just like dry and like shitty.
Yeah.
and it's like okay, like I can see
it's
what's
obvious.
happening.
Yeah, but and also like a confident person, like that wouldn't bother me. That would amuse me. Like that would be funny. Because I'd be like, okay, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
You'd just be like,
yeah, like, you know
she
what I mean?
sure
Like,
is, huh?
yeah,
Isn't
like,
she a
it's
cutie?
yeah. Like, okay, dude.
That's fun. Has that ever happened to you?
What?
Like recently, like someone's like laying the Mac down on Nev while you guys are out and about.
I don't think so, because I feel like I'm not approachable. So I don't think if somebody
True.
saw her with me, like, they're not going to come up to us, yeah.
Wise.
But I'm a gang member.
You would beat them up.
You know what I mean?
You're very possessive. You just start going.
I would bite their throat. You know what I mean? I don't play by any rules, man. All right.
Okay.
So, anyways, as they're getting to the house, they get to the house, and kind of Bo's giving the runaround at the house, and he's kind of fiddling with stuff, and they're looking around the house and like butting their nose in business that's not really theirs. But they're
Hiking.
yeah, like just going into rooms randomly of his house and whatever. And then finally, Carly, she notices that his truck is like the same truck as the truck the previous night that they destroyed the headlight on.
Yeah.
Was kind of stalking them.
Yeah, the headlight.
So
got
she
smashed
freaks out obviously.
Loses
and
it.
Yeah, and she also has her phone, so her friends like Paris Hilton and her boyfriend and all the other people, they ended up hearing this too.
Yeah.
So that's a key component. Anyways,
She
Wade,
freaks out.
she freaks out. He's been crazy. Then Wade gets attacked, her boyfriend, and he gets his Achilles cut.
Ugh, probably one of the grossest part.
Right?
I think it is scissors.
Yeah, and it's gross. It's again like physical effects, so it looks pretty gross.
Did a great job.
Yeah, they did. I hate when I see that.
It's very gross.
And
takes him down into the basement.
Yeah, dude. And then the guy's brother, who is a freak, Vincenzo, and he's huge too. He's
a big fella,
dude. Yeah, and he has like Texas Chainsaw vibes.
High
sure.
key,
like kills you, takes you in the
I
basement,
honestly
like,
love
you.
his mask though.
It's cool. Yeah,
it's just like a wax face. It's very like bland. There's not a lot to it. And it's so creepy because it's this huge dude with all this long hair and then just like this tiny little like doll's face.
It's like a porcelain doll.
Oh, it's
face.
So creepy. It's so sick.
Very gross.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
he takes him in the basement. He embalms him with wax, and he turns him into one of the wax characters, like in their wax museum.
Ew.
But he's alive.
He's alive inside of the wax.
Which would burn the heck out of you too,
dude. It would be so gross.
Yeah. So then their friends arrive there in search of them after hearing that on her phone, and it's kind of funny because they run into Bo, and like they're like, "Where is my sister?" And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And like by this time, like she's already tied up with her mouth super glued, and like she's all like she's underground, and there's like she can hear them like in the vent in the cement above them, and she's like right down there.
Yeah.
So she's like trying to
get her brother's attention.
Yeah, she finally gets her shit together. And she like gets out of there. Yeah.
Her mouth is still glued shut. So what do you do next?
So she tries to grab the grate on the pavement, and it's so gross.
Another really gross part.
But Bo bends down to pretend like he's cutting or he's tying his shoe as her brother is talking to him, and he takes out a pair of wire cutters and like follows her finger and finds it and just snaps the tip of it right off. That's a gross one too. That one bleeds like really bad too. Yeah,
crazy blood.
But when that happens, she peels the stuff off her mouth, and she makes a noise, and then he tries to attack her brother. Her brother beats the crap out of him, and they kind of like run their separate ways. And as they're running away from this guy, they kind of go through the town and realize that like everyone in the town is like pretty much just like a wax figure.
Yeah,
no one is alive.
They're seeing people and they're like, help us, and they like go up and it's like, that is a wax person.
Right. And they go into his wax museum house. Of course, they stumble on Dave. Wade's exhibit, let's say, that they made of him playing the piano, and like the guy is trying to help him, and he like grabs his face because he's moving his eyes, like he's obviously alive. And he touches his face, and he peels off his cheek, and like you see bone and like blood. Oh gosh,
it's again a great physical effect.
Yeah, so it's like pretty intense.
And then Dalton is immediately killed by Vincent.
Yeah, and then Vincent just kind of goes berserk. He kills the other people at the campsite, Paris Hilton and her BF.
Of course, while the brother and the friend are trying to like figure out what's going on, Paris Hilton and her boyfriend are just at this campsite
sinning,
being killed, which is funny because they kill what's his name, Blake. They kill Blake. Paige Purvis gets out of there and like runs away for a minute and goes into this like giant warehouse where there's a bunch of cars and stuff.
Yeah,
and she's like doing a pretty good job. She gets away. She has a weapon. She's hiding out and she's like
she makes too much noise, but yeah.
I mean, okay,
she did. Yeah.
She's Purvis. Okay.
Yeah, true.
She got the little chihuahua in her purse. She's running around. She's like, that's hot.
Yeah, true.
But then she gets killed in a really cool way too.
Yeah,
because she's like doing good, and then like her one weapon, this giant pole. I'm gonna let you guys watch the movie and see how she gets killed because it's really sick and it's practical and it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
He barbecue. He skewer.
BBQ. Okay, so first question of the second part. Have you ever been to a wax museum? And if not, would you go?
I have not. I am creeped out by wax museums kind of because of this movie, but also like I want to like get into it after I hear your answer, but I just like I would feel really weird. I've seen like a lot of like famous people get wax recreations of themselves and I'm like meeting it and it's gross. Excuse me. There's an YouTuber. She's not on YouTube anymore. Rest her soul. She's still alive, but she's just not on the internet. Her name is Jenna Marbles, and she got a wax figure made by Madame Tussauds. I'd probably go to like a Madame Tussauds like gallery. If I could go to that wax museum, I would go there because she's like. That's like the real one. Like they look like real people. And that would be kind of sick.
Yeah.
But like these creepy ones, like if I went to this random city and there was just one there, I'd be like, okay, cool. Sounds like we need to head on out.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
I'm super not into that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to one?
Many. Yes, I have.
Tell me a little bit about that.
I think they're cool. I love them, actually. The last one that I went to was in Salem, and it was the Witch Wax Museum.
That's kind of cool.
It was cool. It was creepy and cool. And I think it's amazing what somebody can do with wax. That's crazy.
That is wild.
Like it's crazy. You can like they paint them so well. You can see like veins and pores and
the
like,
painting and the
insane.
texture.
Like it's crazy. Like you can do that. Like I just saw a YouTube video and it was Post Malone, and he just saw a wax likeness of himself.
Yeah.
If they were standing next to each other, you wouldn't be able to tell.
I think I saw it that he
was
like walked right
crazy.
past it and didn't even think about it. He just thought it was another
just
person.
like him.
Yeah.
Like it's like it would be disturbing.
That
like
that's
seeing that
Madame
yourself.
Tussauds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
So that's an amazing art, I think. So I like it. It's entertaining, and I think when you go into something like willing to have a sense of awe for it, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I definitely would say, and there's always like a wax, like that's the thing about that movie is like in those weird little towns, there's always wax museums. I don't know why, but that's the thing. And I've been to a few, like going up north and like stuff like that. I'm like, oh, they have a wax museum. I'm like, we should stop. We should do that. And it's just like random people in it, or it'll be like John Wayne and like think it's
just like Elvis, Cher,
exactly. Like just like the randos that are
it's like that alien gift shop that we went to when we were driving up to the UP.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah,
that was
one.
that was really cool.
The place. Yeah, it was sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I like stuff like that. So no, I like it. I'm impressed by it a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I can say that. Now, if it was like in this situation, obviously it would be more disturbing.
Super good on it. Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So I have a hard time with it because it's like it. There's this situation. It's called the uncanny valley. It's basically when something looks almost correct. So like you see a dog with like human eyes, or like you see a person and the proportions are like just a little bit different. So it's like you are a person. I know you're a person, but you look just a little bit off to the point where like I start having a reaction. It's like, this isn't right. I need to get out of here.
Sure.
So that's what I feel like I would feel if I went to a wax museum. That isn't like top of the line, like best of the best.
Yeah.
If I was just going somewhere and it was just like, again, off the side of the road, I would be like super not into it at all. I'd be like, this is so gross. I see what they're trying to get to. Or if it's like, that's Elvis and it's obviously not Elvis and it's like, ooh, no, I'm like super not about it. That grosses me out a lot.
That's so funny to me.
I have a really hard time with it.
That's fair. Second question, you kind of brought it up a little bit ago. What is your favorite, goriest kill in the movie?
So there are two that stick with me. It's Paris Hilton's, which I just think is like really good effects. I thought it looked really good. Yeah. But honestly, the first one with Jared Padalecki, it has like stuck with me since the first time I saw this movie, probably close to 2005. I used to watch Sci-Fi Channel a lot when I was a kid to try to scare myself. Yeah. And I guarantee you I've seen this. But I remember seeing that clip of him being turned into a wax figure. And basically like he's like, you know, they end up like kidnapping him. They cut his Achilles tendon, they get him down into the basement. They end up waxing all the body hair off of his face and his head. And then they just like set him up in this like kind of like situation. Yeah, a little contraption. And then they just start like blasting wax on him and like encase him in wax.
It's hot wax.
And
yeah.
ever since I've seen that video or seen that clip in that movie, I can like pull it up in my brain perfectly.
Sure.
Like that is just so iconic and so yuckies.
Yeah.
And it just like really sticks with me.
That's fair.
What about you, Chadwick?
I think his is definitely top tier. I definitely think Paris Hilton's is amazing too. I also like their friend where he like Vincent like gets him with those shears, those garden shears, and then pulls his body off, like his head's stuck in them, and then he pulls his body and like pulls his head off.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
He's laying on the ground. He basically beheads him with the garden shears and then pulls the body so the head is still just sitting there.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it's gross.
And it looks
Good.
perfect.
Yeah, it's good. Like it's really good.
Oh, that's so
They're
sick.
all good. They're like it's a gory movie and it's a really good. The gore in that movie reminds me a lot of Black Xmas.
Yeah.
It's very like gritty and like it's cool. I like
It's
it.
camp.
It's not
like
it's
good
not a
camp.
ton of blood. It's like just enough. It's like it's
It's
good.
accurate blood.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
good.
really
yeah.
good. Oh,
Yeah, I
Black
like it.
Xmas. Let's watch that again.
It's a good one.
Let's do that whole season again.
That's a great movie.
the same exact
Yeah.
movies.
I love the skin cookies in that movie. So
Skin
gross.
Cookie was my nickname.
They're
in
so
high school.
chewy in the movie. I can't. Oh, it's such a good detail. All right. Last but not least, part 3.
Part 3, the collection of all of the feelings. So Carly and Nick, the brother and sister, the only two that are left at this point.
Nick.
They basically learn that Bo has manipulated his brother Vincent into making these wax figures from the victims. So basically, Bo is kind of kidnapping and killing these people, bringing them, well,
To his
kidnapping them,
brooder.
bringing them to his brooder. And Vincent is basically trying to like fulfill his mother's wish by like making this like wax museum and like
Sure.
trying to live up to her name.
Sure.
And they're just like they're learning all of this. They're running around this whole town. They realize that they're so alone with these two killers. So they end up basically getting cornered back into the wax museum. And a detail that we kind of missed, but it's very important right now, the wax museum is also made out of wax. Like the walls are made out of wax.
Everything is made of wax. Yeah.
Everything is made out of wax, and it's so gross.
Yeah.
So they end up like they're chased back into the wax museum, and throughout the kerfuffle, Nick lights the wax museum on fire. So it's like actively melting around them while they're like trying to like get away and win and survive this whole thing. They keep fighting. Carly ends up killing Bo. And then it takes both Carly
She
and...
beats the crap out of him.
She really does. Carly and Nick together kill Vincent. And, like, this entire time, again, the museum is just, like melting down around them. They're fighting for their lives. Like, big clumps of wax are falling all over the place. They, like, finally get out, finally survive. And, like, you know, it's the next day because nothing bad can happen during the day. It's always during the night. And they basically figure out that the town is just like completely off of maps. They didn't think anyone was there and no one was checking up on it. So they have just been like killing and setting up all these wax figures like undisturbed for years, basically the entire time they're there. So again, it's just like really uncomfy feeling. The cops are talking with the brother and sister and they're just kind of chatting and they're like, yeah, it's really sad what happened to those 3 brothers. And they're like, what? 3 brothers? There's only 2, Bo and Vincent. And they're like, oh no, there was a 3rd Sinclair child. And they're like, okay, that's really weird. But as they're like driving away in the ambulance, they look out the back and they see the creepy dude with the
Truck.
with the truck and all the
Roadkill?
thank you, all the roadkill. And they're like, oh shit, is that like the 3rd Sinclair brother? And basically I read into it and they like wanted to do that to keep it open for a sequel because they wanted to make a sequel with him being the killer. And then obviously it tanked, so they couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But they really left it open. They're like, oh, we thought everything was done, but is it? Whoa.
Yeah.
And it's just like, again, I like movies with uncomfortable endings. That's pretty uncomfy. They think they got out scot clean, even though 4 of their friends died. And they ended up not really finishing what they started, and there's still a killer out there.
For
so.
sure. Yeah.
Just a good horror movie ending. Not everything ends well. There's still a killer on the loose. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Here's kind of like an overarching question to kind of wrap this up a little bit here. What?
My foot.
Oh,
I'm fine.
excuse me. Basically, throughout this entire movie, mainly, what are their names? I'll find it. Yeah, Carly and Wade, the boyfriend and girlfriend.
Wade.
They kind of find themselves in a lot of really unfortunate situations just because they're being polite and like just taking up people on their like offerings basically. And do you think this entire movie could have been avoided if they were just like a little more like wary of their surroundings?
I don't know if it could have. This whole situation would be avoidable because they were kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it seemed like when the truck arrived on their campsite, they already kind of decided that like these people are going to be.
They
a
were
part
like,
of something.
they're coming with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say like a lot of it could, and a lot of things like in life in general can be avoided by you just like being okay with being rude to a stranger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that sometimes there's a podcast I used to listen to, and that would be like one of the most like solid morals of the stories that they would tell is like most of the time it's women too, but they tend to just like not want to be rude.
Yeah.
And it's like you're doing that to somebody that you literally have no idea who they are. Why are you even acting like if you don't want to go somewhere with somebody or you don't want to do something, like you have to be rude. Like you have to like have to be like a free thinking person. You of course have to be willing to possibly offend people.
Yeah.
Right? Because like you're just like you're free thinking. You're gonna offend people.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So to me it's like it's just like those people outside of Western Market with the clipboards. I'm gonna tell you no. I'm not just gonna like ignore you. I'm gonna like be like no. I don't wanna
listen
do
to you
this.
because
yeah,
you're
like
out here
enough
trying to
of
give me
this.
sense
Like
of
yeah,
like, no, I'm good. I'm done.
yeah, like
no, thank
you have to be a little bit more. You have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to be. Oh, and you don't have to be like a total, terror on somebody.
Yeah.
But you can definitely like be loud. You can definitely be like, no, I'm not going to go with you. Like, or this is like a little weird. Like,
yeah.
In that sense. So like when I said they quit early on the guy in the truck, I mean, but also it's like on the other hand, it's like if you feel uncomfortable and your instincts are telling you like this isn't right, then yeah, you should tell him to stop the car and you should get out of the car.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like, why wouldn't you listen to your instincts, right? Like, so I think instincts are there inherently to protect you typically.
100%.
Like, so like I think that it's like one of those things where if the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up and you're like, this isn't right, something was wrong. You need to
get out of
it's
there.
a flight situation. It's not a fight situation. You know what I mean? So like you got to get out of there. So I think that it could, I don't know if it would be 100% avoided, but I certainly think that it would maybe have taken longer to develop. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there wouldn't have been as many lives lost. You know what I mean?
I think so, yeah.
So, but that's how I think.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I definitely there's a scene in a movie coming up closer to the end of the season that we're going to go over, and I'm going to bring this up again at that point because it's one of my favorite scenes. But yeah, I think a lot of people get themselves into a lot of issues just because they're trying to be like polite,
Right.
and like not politically correct, but polite.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times it does happen to women because what are your two options? You defend yourself and you say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not listening to you. And then, oh, you're a bitch. You're standoffish. You're rude.
Right.
Or you just kind of go along with it because you have to play nice. And then you get yourself into a situation where you're, not wanting to be in that situation.
Right, yeah.
So it's such like a double-edged sword in that situation.
It's hard. Yeah.
And yeah, I just think a lot of times, like for me, in a very like non-intense version of this, myself and my sister Megan were standing in line for a pop-up event that we wanted to go get food at. And this guy comes up and he's like running for election for something. And he comes up and he's like, hey, how's it going? This line is crazy. I don't say a word to him. Megan's like, oh my gosh, yeah. And they like start talking and stuff. And the guy's like, well, I just wanted to ask you guys, are you both like registered to vote in Wayne County? And my immediate reaction was, I'm from out of town. I just said that and literally turned my back to him.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done. I'm not talking to
Yeah.
you at all. Not only was I not registered to vote in Wayne County, I could have been registered to vote and loved this guy. The fact that he came up to me and started talking to me like that, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
not about
obnoxious,
that.
Yeah.
Megan, of course, the wonderful, polite person who will talk to the broadside of a barn if she had to, starts talking to this guy. He ends up staying there for like 10 minutes. And I'm just like completely have my back turned the entire time. And I'm like, why did you talk to this man? Just tell him to go away. You're not going to vote for him.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Right.
I just hate that it happens. It happened to Casey recently too, and he was like super didn't want to talk to her, and then ended up talking to this woman for like 20 minutes and had like a really good conversation. But I have enough conversations. My job is to have conversations with people. I don't need to have more conversations when I'm on my own time.
Yeah, I just don't want to do that. I don't have any interest in it. But yeah, I think that moral is that same thing. Like, you can't always agree and like be a yes man. Like, you have to, like, if you're not wanting to do something, I think you should just risk offending somebody that you'll never see ever again. Probably. I'm not doing this to be offended, but if you are offended, that's on you. Yeah, that's their perception of it. So it's like you have to be responsible and careful.
Can't do it.
You know. It's like the Buffalo Bill thing. It's like where he's like, I have a cast on my arm. Like, can you help me with this? It's like, you're alone. This is dark. Like, you can be like, hey, I'm busy. I'm sorry. You got to go. Like, you got to just walk out of there. Yeah. Like, they. I
hope someone can help you. Bye.
Yeah, they bet on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, because it's just a human nature thing. It's like predictable. You know what I mean? So it's like you just have to do it. Anyways,
it's so gross.
Movie's great though. It's fun. It's exciting. It's if you're a person that is easily entertained, it's a great movie. If you're someone that's like a critic, don't watch the movie. You're just going to ruin it. So just don't. It's not a good movie.
Sometimes it's not good to be too critical with movies and stuff.
You have to be willing to be entertained. Then you can watch this movie.
I will say it's an incredible like time capsule of the 2000s.
I agree.
Like early the fact 2000s. That it's Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
None of their clothes fit correctly.
No.
Jared Padalecki is wearing this like t-shirt with a way longer t-shirt underneath it the entire time. I think there's a button down involved. It's just like such unflattering clothing. And then the music, I think I can't remember if I said last week what the credit song is, but it's Helena by My Chemical Romance, and it's so good, and it's just such like, again, it's like a freeze frame of the mid 2000s. It's just like, yep, this is exactly how it was, and I wanted to be like the bad boy in that movie. I wanted to be him so bad. I was like, And now, like, as an adult,
he's such a jerk.
If some 18-year-old was talking like that, if some 18-year-old threw a beer bottle at my car and broke something, I'd be like, you're getting the fucking cops called on you right now. Dude. Like, you're done. Who do you think you are?
Yeah. No, I know.
Oh, I was so mad. Angsty. But yeah, it's just like, when I was a kid, though, I was like, yes, I want to be that so badly.
Sure.
Obsessed.
So, yeah, it was good.
It's a great movie.
What movie are we doing next time?
I am so excited about this because I've wanted to see this movie since it came out, and I have never had the opportunity. And I am so excited to watch it. Next 2 weeks, we are going to be watching the movie The Grand Budapest Hotel. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I'm really excited about it.
Top faves.
What's his name? The director?
Wes Anderson.
It's Wes Anderson. So every single famous person in the world is going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Did Wes Anderson do The Boat That Rocks? Pirate Radio?
No.
Had that feel though.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm
very
really
colorful.
excited. I have never seen a Wes Anderson movie.
Have you seen The Royal Tenenbaums?
No, but we watched The French Exit, and I had a hard time with it. Not The French Exit. The French Exit is a good movie. What is that movie that we watched? Timothy Chalamet.
It is. It's called The French Exchange or something like that.
Yeah, let's look it up.
I don't remember.
Wes.
It was an okay movie, but he does great movies.
Oh,
Bottle Rocket's great.
He looks like a Wes Anderson. I want to see Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That's a great movie too. Yeah, his movies are really good.
The French Dispatch.
Dispatch, that's right. Yeah, but everything else is
Isle
fantastic.
Of Dogs?
Yeah.
I want to watch a lot of his movies. I hope I like it. I know I'll like it. Asteroid City that came out in 2023.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I want to see. I'm so excited to watch Grand Budapest Hotel. Budapest Hotel. So many famous people.
I know.
Ray
His
Fiennes.
movies are great.
The bad guy from whatchamacallit's in this.
I know.
That's crazy. And then Adrian Brody, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum. Oh, Jude Law. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
For you guys, you have to wait 2 weeks to watch it, but we're watching it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not wait 2 weeks to watch it, 2 weeks to hear about us talk
Edward
about
Norton's
it.
in that movie too.
I love Edward Norton.
Yeah,
I think my friend Jake looks exactly like Edward Norton.
Yeah, it's a really, really wonderful movie.
I'm so excited.
But yeah, anyways, yeah. I'm excited. I'm
House of
excited
Wax,
to meet
spooky,
everybody back
scary.
here again promptly in a few weeks. And stay cool out there.
It was a little bit of a shorter episode because we're
It's
melting.
a heat wave. Yeah.
Right now it's currently 165 degrees in Detroit.
Yeah.
It's gross. No.
But
it hit me slow.
but yeah, anyways.
Anything to say to the kids?
Thank
Anything
you,
else to say
thank
to
you
the
for
kids?
listening and watching, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Take care now.
Bye.